13 January 2023, Friday. Friday the 13th. MAO with Kel. Alright, guys. Last night, CPI data 6.5. Yes, I was wrong. I admit myself. So, slap in the face. Alright, but the thing is this. 6.5, right? So, JP Morgan says that it should see at least a 1.5 to 2% rally. But instead, we saw a sudden sell-off instead in the market. And there were actually rumors saying that there could be a tip out before the data, because the treasury volume actually shot up just before that itself. Now, I didn't have time to talk about this. I'll do it on Monday. But the crazy part is that I want to tell you now my greatest fear on this last CPI. And I believe that this CPI at 6.5 could be the lowest for this round. In fact, I believe that the next one could be 7.0. Let me explain to you why I feel that way. And of course, once again, do make sure that your risk assessment is being done properly. And thank you, AIMS, for the kind sponsorship. Now, let's recap what happened last night once again. All right. So last night, the Dow Jones was up by 216 points. Not bad at all. Nasdaq 57, S&P 13. But it's nowhere near the 1.5 to 2 to 3% upside, right? That is something odd. So the CPI data came in 6.5%. It's exactly the same as the consensus. Wow, amazing, yeah, amazing. But the thing is that you can see this. This is what I shared you yesterday. This is a JP Morgan game plan for CPI, which came out 6.5%. So they are spot on, but there was no such reaction. Okay. If you look carefully yesterday, Microsoft up by 1%, Google down, Apple flat, Amazon flat, Berkshire flat, JP Morgan flat. So everybody was flat. So where the gains came from? So across the board, right? We have really not much movement here. It's a very small. Maybe Disney up by 3.61%, and that's about it. I cannot see any big movement there. So really not too sure where the rest go. Maybe go to the other side. But my point is this: this is not what you are looking at, right? Isn't it? So let's look at what happened to my chart, my TWB chart. Yeah, let's take a look right now. So you can see on the screen. Let me just change my color. Okay. So the market was already mounting on the upside before the CPI data, okay? And it was very clear that seemingly someone knows something here. It's very, very clear. My big boys indicator was all the way buying throughout. So that was why we were a bit optimistic that the CPI data will come up with 6.5. And then what happened? When the news came out, we have an instant flash, okay? The market shot up first. Then it slammed down all the way. Oh my goodness, okay, all the way down. So from the highest point right here to the lowest point here, we are talking about nearly 500 point reversal, okay? But then again, the market recovered very strongly. There's a bomb creation here. And then the market went all the way up right here. And then after that, it nosedived down all the way and then stick around here, and the boys came in to buy again, and we have a strong rally towards the end. So if you have the TWB indicator, all this information you can actually see for yourself. Yep. Okay, so the point is this: what actually created the upside, right? Apparently, it was the Biden. Biden came in after the CPI data and congratulate himself for doing a good job, okay? So by lowering costs for the American families, and that probably, in my opinion, as a propaganda, hence brought up the market. So it's more like a Biden fuel rally. All right. So the thing is this now, what is very critical and very, very important. All right. I'll talk about the CPI data shortly, but let's look at the chart first. Okay. A very important thing to take note of. Now, this is the highest point for the Dow Jones since last year, January, right? Okay. Then I remember telling you about this 95, 90, 85, 80% retracement marker, right? Okay, so what we saw was beautiful. The market came all the way down to the 80% mark, which you see over here. And then after that, the market hit the downtrend line, couldn't stay down, and then we had a massive recovery. Okay, so the thing is this: as long as the market got no new all-time high, this so-called 5% retracement mark is still very useful. So what we are seeing right now, recently the market went up over here, okay, and then it pulled back down, which is the 90% mark, 33,258. It's been hovering there for quite a while, and then now it's going up. Now the midpoint between this number, 35,105 to 33,258, the mid number is this number, 34,181. So as long as the market stays above 34,181, there is a very good chance to see 35,000 coming in. All right, this is something that it's really very possible. But the thing is this, if you look at the trend line right now, right, this is A, and this is B, and this is C, and now we are D. It seems that the yesterday's high was exactly at the D area. So which means that the market really stopped right here. So you ask me, right, I kind of feel that we may see a C. That means it's a breakout of the trend line, then a pullback, and then some selling to come. Now, I already tell you guys, I'm pretty confident to say that, right, we should see a pullback or shakeout from the mid of January 2023. And this is like 13th of January, right, which is the last trading day for today. So which means by 15th of February will be Sunday. So by 16th of January, that will be the start of the second half of January. And I feel that the market is going to pull back from there on. Let me explain to you why, okay? Now, this is something that I shared yesterday, right? We're getting the S&P 500. And I mentioned to you that if the market were to go up, right, it will hit the high approximately about 3996 level. Remember, I said that it was in my video. And of course, what really happened? Well, take a look. The market high last night was 3997. Not too bad. It means by 1 point. But what is crazy now is that this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, this is D, and this is E, and then we have F. And F have just reached beautifully. So of course, the question is, will we see the breakout? Okay, if the breakout do come in, we can see the S&P 500 going up to 4,100 first. That will be the first layer it will be going. And of course, anything more than that is all right. There is a possibility that the market could go all the way up to 4380 level. Okay, so that is being the optimistic mark. But if let's say we're looking at the ABCD trajectory and expect the market to pull back right now, the next pullback should be coming down all the way here, and that should give us about 3850 level. Okay, 3850. Now I have a couple of technical levels that I left for you already: 3809, 3749, and 3658. I still believe that once the market loses the 3809 marker, we could see a pullback as much as to 3,400 level. So of course, by saying this, I have my reason I want to share with you, okay? Because I feel that, right, this is actually a very high possibility if we look and study the CPI data really carefully. Okay, let me explain this to you right now. So basically, this is the breakdown of the CPI data. And of course, the one that contribute to the downside, a lot of it is because of this: energy prices. Energy like commodities, gasoline, fuel, energy services all came down really badly, right? You can see, look, compared to November to December numbers, you can see that the numbers are very clear. That is down between 10 to 15%. Hence, therefore, the CPI data basically share on that. But if you look carefully right now, right, in terms of this food and energy, we can see it's actually going a bit higher, and the current rate right now is 5.7. That means that, right, we're talking about minus food, minus energy is 5.7. Now, Federal Reserve 1 is 2%. Now, let's say they upgrade to 3. We're still about almost 1 time higher. So with what is happening right now, if interest rate hiking several times to now 4%, and still we are now 1 time higher than the Federal Reserve target level, right? I just feel that this is not going to end, all right? And if you look carefully, in terms of shelter price, the shelter price continued to go up. That means that, right, it was lower in this November, but now it's higher back again in December. And I just feel that it will go higher because shelter price and interest rate goes hand in hand. When the interest rate keep on climbing, shelter price, rental itself will go higher because people will, basically the landlord will ask you to pay more because the cost is actually higher right now. Don't you think that way? So all this tells me that if energy prices goes up, and interest rate environment continue to go higher, then of course the CPI data will not be this current level. Now, that is my first concern. And of course, you may say that why do I say that? Well, because there's something that you don't know or you may not know. I want to share with you right now is that if you look carefully, the 12-month percentage change on CPI on urban consumer really is coming down. Yes, indeed, it's coming down as compared. Yeah, it's coming down, but that is basically of the less food and energy. Do you know that the food itself is having a bit of a problem right now? Let me share with you. Do you notice that you saw these articles in the market whereby the eggs prices in US is going high and it may not be going down soon? Yes, in Singapore, we don't see this right now, but apparently in US, the eggs prices are going up. And what's the main reason? Well, there are a few reasons, but the main thing is one of them is a egg crisis. As of this week, right, 500 million eggs were recalled. Oh my God, we don't recall of vehicles, I understand, but eggs. All right, because of this related diseases going around, hence, therefore, people are finding it difficult. But that's not only on the eggs price, there's something else. Apparently, for the last entire year, from November 2021 to 2022, okay, flour is up by 25%, bread up by 15.7%, and this milk is up by 14.7%. Okay, this is the way above the current CPI data of only like 6.5. It's not really reflecting the truth. And of course, there's the eggs prices right now. Apparently, last 2 years ago, eggs was at $1.72. All right, for 10 eggs, and now it's at as much as $3.59. And in some area, it goes up as high as $5 to even $8. Oh my God. And this is all from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, it's not that I created it myself. This is not good at all. And people are pissed off, man. You can see that, right? I try to be a law-abiding citizen, but this grocery prices wants me to steal. Oh gosh. All right, egg prices have gone up by 49%. For what? All right, and we cannot normalize this grocery prices. Oh my goodness, I'm buying chicken instead. So all this tells you a lot of things, guys. This is not going to end well if, let's say, this happened. Now, we all know that the reason why Biden is happy because he managed to bring CPI data lower because he actually dumped quite a fair bit of oil through the SPR. So the thing is this right now, just about basically about 2 years ago, the US reserve for crude oil was about 650 million barrels. But apparently right now, Biden has dumped so much oil, it has become the reserve itself, right, is really the lowest since 1984. Wow, okay? We're talking about real serious stuff right now. Now, of course, you may say, is it really is it important? Oh, well, it all really depends on how it sees it, because now we are now at 371,000 million barrels, right? I think this is billion barrels. Yep. Okay. So the thing is this, where we were just a couple of years ago, we were at this 600,000 plus. All right. So all this information tells you that if Biden really needs to buy back this crude oil, what will happen to the price of crude oil? And I've been sharing a view about crude oil. You can see this is A, this is B, and this is C, and now we have D. Do you notice that yesterday crude oil actually broke above the downtrend line already? And of course, my RSI indicator itself is pretty clear that there could be further upside. And more important, this is the Fibonacci level. And I mentioned to you guys, if this continue to go higher, we can see oil prices going to $96. And wait a minute, who said this before? Yes, indeed. We know that, okay, that Goldman Sachs actually says that there's a good chance that oil price will hit 105 mark, okay? Now, 1 month ago, they're looking at 110, now it's 105. Doesn't matter because still now it's at $78. And I really tell you this, guys, bringing down inflation require measures that are not popular. This is something that Jerome Powell said before the CPI data. And if you ask me, right, it basically tells you that if they know that there's no way you can bring down CPI data further, then of course, they really may have to keep on hiking interest rate. And of course, by saying this, a lot of you don't believe it, but it doesn't matter because big boys don't tell you the game plan until they have profit from it, or they're going to make you become the other side of the table. So to me, it's all right. This is a very clear hallmark indication that crude oil can go higher, okay? And I believe that interest rate will continue to go up. Now, it may be 25 basis points, if what everybody's saying right now, but I just feel that the next few days, all right, if crude oil price really steadily goes up on its own, there will be a very chance that the market has to think back again and maybe reflect and say maybe the CPI data may not be that good, yeah? And then again, we may need to hike. And it will not be 25 basis point. It could be as much as 50 basis point. Now, this is something that a lot of people are asking me to show again, because yesterday I showed it quite fast. Now, this is the top 50 counters versus the bottom 450. S&P 500 got 500 stocks, right? So this is actually coming from Fidelity, and this is really incredible data, and it shows that, right, whenever the market breaks below the uptrend line, this is really being reflected here itself, then there will be a recession, that's for sure. And of course, the market drop down is quite severe. So the last time was 1974, then 1999, and now 2023. I really believe that this will break down. And of course, tonight we have all the banks' earnings. And if the bank earnings already shows that they are not going to do well for the first quarter, then the second quarter of 2023, I can tell you the rest will be the same. I can't see how the tech company can do any better with the current situation right now in China, and of course with the increasing loan costs. Now even the interest rate doesn't go any higher, but the current rate right now is way higher than 1 year ago. So that means that the cost will hit and more people will lose their jobs. And for my 14th January preview, which is tomorrow, guys, tomorrow, yeah? Okay, a lot of people have signed up for it. Thank you very much. In fact, it's alright. More than 90 people have signed up. Really thankful for that. But please turn up, okay? No point you sign up and you don't turn up. We have already sent you the Zoom link, the password and ID to you. Please check your email right now. It is already sent out, okay? If you didn't have it, right, quickly go to Trade with the Voice Facebook page and contact us through the messenger to get the link, alright? And of course, guys, look at our trading record. Look at it. This is our trading record by our trader who is fully trained by us, and now this is up by as much as 63% in just 3 months of trading. Yes, I'll tell you how we did it, and I'll tell you more. So join tomorrow's preview. Yeah, okay, very important. And of course, at the same time itself, right? Some of you are asking me how's the result of the survey that I did. Well, apparently interesting. Up to 73% of you guys believe that this is the final bear market rally and a big selling is coming. Oh, okay. And some of you actually want me to cover gold. This is very interesting because gold is going up, right? A few months ago, I talked about gold, no one be bothered. So the same thing here. A few months ago, I talked about gold could be going up. People like, hey, come on, man, cannot be. And now gold is higher, everybody jumping in. So now crude oil is going down. Everyone say that cannot be. But I think crude oil is going to go up, okay, guys? I believe that crude oil will go to $96. You really have to watch it. And of course, crude oil is one of the next one that people likes. And one more itself, I think, if I get it correct, it should be on this Hang Seng, I think. Alright, anyway, tomorrow I'll cover top 3 choices, and hopefully you guys are around to listen to me up. And of course, I mentioned to you, I believe they're going to be drop another 15% for the S&P 500 or Dow Jones, and not too bad, up to 70% of you actually share the same view. So guys, remember, I already sent you the email. Please check your email address, your email that you give to us, and check for the Zoom link. I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. sharp, okay? Don't be late because I got so much information to share with you, alright? Okay. Alright, so let's look at the chart right now and see what we have for you for today. Alright, let's take a look. So this is the chart that I showed you earlier. So this is the Dow Jones. And if you look at the NASDAQ is way below the 80% mark, so which means that we are still in the bear territory for the NASDAQ. So I cannot see why people are telling me to buy tech company right now. And of course, you look at the S&P 500, we are now basically just marginally above the 80% mark. So just about 2 weeks ago, we are actually here, right? And it consolidated for quite a bit. Now it rebounded, but look at the trajectory of the downward trend. Hence, therefore, I just feel that Morgan Stanley will likely get it correct. Right? So, of course, again, all these are something that you need to take note. And traders, this is going to be big. All right. So tomorrow preview, join us. Don't miss it. Okay. All right. Let's look at the market right now for today. Now, first of all, we have still a pretty strong run in the market. Let me just change my screen. I think it's the wrong one. Here we go. All right. Now, the Dow Jones is still pretty strong because KSI is green, the KRW is cyan color. Though when you put them together itself, it's pretty positive, and that's why the green arrow was there. And the upside potential can go all the way to 34,392. Now, the thing is this, today, there's a bit of combo act here itself. Well, because first of all, the market is trading below the pivot 2. Now, pivot 2 is 34,265 for today. But the thing is that the current price, the opening price is 34,197. So as long as the market stays above opening price, it's fine. But if the market goes below opening price and stays below the pivot 2, usually that's a telltale sign to sell. And if the market actually breaks MLP, that will be even worse. Alright, but as long as the market stays firm, then of course the first target is 34,265, and any higher could be 34,392. Alright, by the way, there's something that must make sure on this point. Last few days, I've been telling you guys this. If the market go up, they'll see 34,000. And when I said that, it's alright. Some of you get a bit, sure or not. And you can see the market really hit 34,000. So please don't take my word, even though I share with you some stuff like a bit of the pessimistic stuff or negative stuff, but you must listen to my technical view. Actually, I will tell you both sides, and I in fact tell you that what most likely will be going, and that's why we say that Dow could go for 34,000, which really have happened. Now the Nasdaq has reached my 11,500 level perfectly, alright. Last night, the Nasdaq was down first, right? Down quite a bit, fair bit, down 1%. And then after it rallied up all the way and it touched my 11,500 BNB extension level. So if that happened, now usually we do see a bit of pullback. So today's the pivot 2 is 11,457. If the market stays below OP and break below 11,425, we can see a bit of pullback on the Nasdaq. But with the KSI and the KRW both are in the same positive side, seemingly the market could actually go higher. So once again, guys, this is overall the bullishness still in the market, but just be very careful. Watch the crude oil closely, because I think that will be a very important marker here. Alright, so that is the US market right now. I got limited charts today. Something went wrong with my system, need to restart, but I'm doing the MAO video. Continue, yep. Okay, for crude oil today, you can see very clearly now crude oil is staying above the pivot 2 level at $77.44, and it's moving up now at $78.82. And I believe that if crude oil goes higher, this is not going to help, because we all know that the last CPI data is because of crude oil. So if crude oil now on its own mounting up, right, we have a problem now. Take note, guys, the opening price of this December month, the crude oil was at about $80. Now it went down first to as low as $74, but now it's back to $78, right? So if it goes above this $80 mark, right, then I can tell you this will send fear to the market, and people know that, okay, we may not have the same type of numbers for next month, and that will actually create some selling pressure, because we all know that the buying came because of the CPI data was weak, or slightly, means lower than the last time. Now KSI is still red in color, but the weightage indicator KRW is actually cyan, so there'll be a mixed bag here. But once the KSI turns green and the KRW retains cyan, I tell you, we'll see a big upthrust on the crude oil. So I believe that crude oil is going to go back up again to the BNB RL level, and that's $81.44. All right. Okay, so because of my limitation on my indicator for today, I apologize on that. This will end pretty soon. Okay, let's look at the gold market right now. So gold, as you can see, is really shooting up. 1906 was the BNB, which I mentioned yesterday, and crude and gold price from the low of 1870 shoot all the way up to to the price of 1896, and this morning until now we see 1906 trip. KSI is green, no KCX, that means it's very bullish right now. But since he hit this point here, 1906, and this is actually a KCB of 1905, I believe that a pullback is kind of expected, yeah? The dollar has been pretty strong, I understand that. But then again, yesterday we saw the dollar plunging down, going down all the way because of the CPI data. So of course, now it has come down to this point, 102, the level I mentioned that it's a good time to buy some dollar. So if you want to buy some dollar now, 102 could be a good idea, okay, 102. And of course, if you look at the 10-year yield, we can see that yesterday 10-year yield has also pulled back, but came back to the base level of this 50% mark at 3.43 level. I believe that it's going to mount again. This is going to be a triple bottom or double bottom. It's going to mount up again, and it's going to go back to 3.9. I really feel that this whole thing is right. It's really orchestrated to just basically for the CPI data to come down. But once you have too much, you cannot hold it, and likely things will get very ugly. So this is the gold price right now. Let's look at the silver price. Now silver is basically moving sideways, and I believe that is because that is why, but I need to be very careful on chasing in. I think that just wait for the silver price to come back down to $23 or lower will be good. In fact, coming down to $22.39 will serve us good, alright? At the moment now, KSI is showing selling pressure, and KCX is still okay. So let's take a look right now and see how it goes. Now, only if it breaks above the BNB RL level, which is at $24, then we can see it going to $24.86. Okay. All right, guys. That one will be that look at cryptocurrency market. Now, crypto Bitcoin shot up all the way to 19,000 yesterday. Wow, really beyond my expectation. I know it will go higher because it's like all the accumulation here, and this is a pretty good stop. So 18,200 was taken out, but the market went even higher to 19,000. Okay, anyway, my view is this, guys. If you look carefully in history, the downward trend on this Bitcoin is clearly there. And every time before it sell down, there will be an incredible upthrust for a couple of days. And then after that, things get into a pretty bad and nasty thing experience, and then price comes down. So this is how I feel it. And I think that this may likely be happening also. And I think traders need to be very, very, very careful. Don't jump in right now. Leave it alone and wait for a pullback to buy. All right. With that, again, tomorrow's my preview. I'll see you again. This is Cal signing off. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.